What's up, Taiwan? I'm Joyce coming to you from Taipei with the latest news. At least 3 people are dead after a fire broke out in New Taipei. The blaze engulfed a 7-story residential building in the densely populated Tseng district. At least 2 others were also injured. All 5 people belonged to the same household. Police say they believe the fire started after a battery exploded, but the exact cause is still being investigated. Taiwan is preparing new rules to govern the use of cryptocurrency. The country's Financial Supervisory Commission is set to submit draft laws by the end of the year. The goal is to prevent fraud and money laundering. Commission head Peng Jinglong says the anonymous cross-border nature of cryptocurrency makes it fertile ground for scams. Fraud cases involving crypto have been on the rise in Taiwan. One recent case saw 32 people indicted, including a well-known lawyer. New figures show the average salary in Taiwan rose slightly in the first 4 months of the year, but not all sectors are seeing the same growth. John Van Trieste reports.
Some good news for workers in Taiwan. The latest government figures show many employees are earning slightly more these days. From January to April, the average salary was just over $1,400 a month. And though inflation ate up much of these gains, total earnings, including bonuses, came out to around $2,000 a month for the average worker, an increase of more than 1% from the same period last year.
外需的一些需求带动之下，其实我们在经常性薪资跟总薪资的这个部分，它的增幅其实都是有一定的成长幅度。
Demand for workers is also high. Job search platforms are listing over 1 million unfilled positions in the country, which has a population of around 23 million people. But some sectors are seeing much higher salaries than others. Much of the growth has been in the tech industry.
目前的就业数来看，全台湾大概22000个工作数是属于半导体产业的。AI 的人才需求，现在每个月也有24000个工作数，人才需求这样，薪资就会比较上涨。
In semiconductors and AI, the average worker takes home around $1,700 a month. That's less than IT and finance workers, but several hundred more than workers in hospitality or manufacturing. Taiwan's leading tech research institute predicts a bonanza year for the semiconductor industry, with production worth over $158 billion, up nearly 18% from last year, meaning the gap may widen still. Ryan Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's global edge in semiconductors is getting even stronger. Production value is expected to expand 17% this year compared to 2023. According to Taiwan's leading tech research institute, the production value of chips is set to grow from $131 billion last year to $154 billion this year, a record high. The growth is being put down to booming demand for AI chips, which will be used in consumer electronics as new products like AI personal computers hit the market. Taiwan semiconductor giant TSMC has seen its stock prices hit record highs, and there are plans for further expansion. The company expects to start work on its first European plant in Dresden, Germany at the end of the year. The plant could be in mass production by 2027, prompting local excitement.
Passend zu Europa, Produktionsvolumen 40.000 Wafer pro Monat und wir werden etwa 2.000 Mitarbeiter am Standort in Dresden beschäftigen.
Greece has recorded its earliest heat wave on record. The country's most visited tourist site, the Acropolis in Athens, was shuttered on Wednesday as temperatures topped 43 degrees Celsius. The government also closed schools and issued a pause on outdoor work. Greece marks a heat wave when there are temperatures over 38 degrees Celsius for at least 3 days. Meteorologists say Greece has never before recorded a heat wave before the middle of June. Lotus seeds appear in many dishes in Taiwan, but climate change may soon take them off the menu. Farmers say changes in the lotus plant's flowering process are causing a decline in seed production. Wesley Lewis reports.
It's harvesting season for lotus seeds in Tainan, southern Taiwan. Most summers, ponds here are packed with flowering lotus plants, but this year is different. Farmers say unusual weather patterns in recent months have halved their crop yield.
那时候没有下雨，在开花的话，开花的成数会非常的不好。我们都是要靠这个蜜蜂 下去授粉。在今年的话，也不知道蜜蜂不是减少很多了。我们正常，我们莲蓬有20几颗，20-30颗。在今年的话，不过剩10几颗。
Lotus farmers say the plants have a delicate flowering process, sensitive to changing weather conditions. With climate change fueling drier weather and fewer bees around to pollinate flowers, lotus plants aren't producing as many seeds. Lotus seeds are a common ingredient in many local dishes, but with smaller harvests, prices have already gone up in markets and restaurants.
原本10斤是900，那涨到950。那因为原物料一直涨啊，白糖啊也都一直涨价，所以预期今年也是有可能还会再涨这样子。
Tainan grows many of the lotus seeds consumed in the country. This year, local farmers have dedicated nearly 200 hectares to the lotus plant cultivation. But as climate change worsens, lotus seed farmers here are hoping their crop yields and businesses won't wither away, along with their plants. Eason Chen and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Jujubes are popular fruit across Taiwan, but recent unstable weather patterns are slashing harvests in the northern county Miaoli, where almost all the country's red dates are grown, Reese Ayers reports.
They may look green now, but these are in fact young red dates, also known as jujubes. A popular fruit in Taiwan, they're only really grown at this scale here in Miaoli in the country's north. And this year, farmers say it's been slim pickings. Covering an area of about 80 hectares, the average annual output for this farm is 2.4 million kilograms of jujubes. But farmers found some trees are producing up to 80% less fruit this year. The Farmers Association says that unstable weather has impacted the trees' flowering rates.
The
local government has asked farmers impacted by low harvests to provide figures so that they can apply to the central government for disaster subsidies. It's not just jujubes that might be in short supply this summer. Mango, peach and plum farmers have also seen reduced harvests over the past few months, all due to unusual weather patterns, likely down to climate change. Devon Tai and Reese Ayers for TaiwanPlus.
A joint U.S.-Taiwan weather satellite system has fallen closer to the Earth in the past couple of years, affecting its ability to collect and send back data. But how do you get satellites to stay in place? Sandy Chi investigates.
This is Formosat 7, a joint satellite project between Taiwan's National Space Agency and the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It's a constellation of 6 remote sensing microsatellites, collecting atmospheric data for weather prediction and conduct climate, atmosphere, and gravity research. The system was launched from Florida in 2019 and placed in orbit 550 kilometers above Earth. However, since 2022, it struggled to stay in position.
运行的高度是会慢慢的下降。那在我们在2022年以前，我们平均卫星高度下降是每年大概2公里，但是在2022年以后，我们卫星到现在就是2年半的时间，已经下降了40公里。
The drop is partly due to the solar magnetic cycle, an 11-year periodic change in the sun's activity.
太阳黑子爆炸的时候，那就是产生所谓叫电浆云，然后它会随着太阳风出来，然后到地球磁场时会挤压磁场，也就会造成我们的极光，也就大量的沉降的粒子。这时候你的福卫7号任何一架人造卫星去，你都会受到它的阻滞。
The problem is, Formosat 7 can only take accurate atmospheric measurements at a certain altitude. It means scientists need to make sure the satellites stay in place by releasing gas from the internal cylinders to push them higher again. In 2023, they did this twice, increasing the altitude by 15 kilometers. And it's not the only problem caused by the solar cycle. high-speed and high-energy particles generated by the solar storms and other space weather changes can also affect the satellite's electronics.
还是会有一些异常事件的发生。那异常事件的话，我们就是直接把卫星关机，然后让它重启，或者让卫星进入安全模式，然后我们再去做后续的一个侦测的动作。如果卫星正常的话，我们再让卫星重新运作。这2年来，其实发生的频率有些微的增加，但是我们都能够很快的去解决它。
Despite the issues, Formosat 7 still sends back about 4,000 pieces of data each day, which is a big help for weather forecasting, climate observation, and monitoring conditions in space. James Lin and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Many here in Taiwan rely on the resources provided by the sea. Our reporter Sandy Chi heads to the East Coast to meet a woman who has spent her life working under the waves.
Chen Wangshi makes it look easy as she moves around in the intertidal zone near Magang Fishing Village, a remote and quiet place located on the easternmost part of Taiwan. The 82-year-old is one of the country's last few remaining so-called sea women. They make their living from the ocean, collecting things like oysters, seaweed, and snails. There are fewer than 5 sea women left in Magang. All of them are over 50 years old. Taking only a pair of shoes with grippy soles, a hat, and some gear, she is ready for work. Unlike amas, another name for sea women in Japan and South Korea, who mainly dive into the ocean, sea women in Taiwan can do both, diving without scuba gear and working in the intertidal zone. Today, Chen chose to stay in the intertidal zone because of her age, the weather, and strong waves. Chen supports her family mainly through ocean collecting. She's been the sole breadwinner since her husband died. The seasons, weather, and ocean conditions play a crucial role in her livelihood. With just a glance, she can tell if there's anything worth collecting. She can also read the tides like an open book. Late spring and early summer is best for picking red seaweed, sea moss, and oysters. Chen has an intimate relationship with the ocean. She says it's like her very own natural fridge. However, over the years, she's become disappointed, not with the sea, but with humans and the damage they've done. According to the government, in 2023 alone, over 940 tons of trash washed up on Taiwan's coasts. That's the smallest amount in 4 years. But it's a lot to deal with for people who work closely with the ocean, like Chen. Despite all the ocean trash and disappointment, Chen perseveres in her work as a sea woman. She vows to keep going as long as she is physically able, and the sea can provide. Kamashu and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, Barking Air takes off. Check out this new experience for dogs to fly first class. I'm Joyce, and take care and see you next time.